Hey everyone, Studfit here. Happy New Year. Hope you're enjoying 2021 more than you enjoyed 2020. It's obviously been an interesting year. But at the same point in time, I don't think I would have gotten into Mario Kart Tour had it not been for the pandemic and COVID 19. So I guess it's a blessing in disguise. But um, we enter to 2021, and specifically, this is a unique tour. There's a lot to impact, and just a reminder of what this program is, this episode's even about. The rundown essentially was some information that I would look at each tour. It's not necessarily a reaction tour, and I think that there are a lot of great content creators who do a great job of reacting to things, and there's a lot that you can read about and learn about and figure out on your own. What I like to do is take a deep dive look at things and try to impact maybe a couple tips and tricks here, some meta level strategies based on who got buffed, some of the top 10 items in the game, and really just try to impact things on a deeper level. I tried doing this, all really on that first Wednesday that it was released, and I didn't think I was able to give it a solid chance to get deep into it. So, I've been kind of aiming for Friday, Saturday to give it a couple days to take a look at the tour and really try to impact as much as possible. Tabor, as you know, my sidekick, I don't know if I'm Batman or he's Batman and who's Robin, but I rely a lot on his data, so thank you so much for putting that together, Tabor. He puts together based on what the second week cup is. So for this case, it's Dry Bowser Cup. He does a lot of updating to the top 10 based on ranked and who's there. So that's an update that he puts into every Saturday. So I've been, kind of relying on that just so that I have a maximum, 10 days where everything is up to date and I'm sharing the most up to date information. However, we'll see how things change in the future. But as of right now, we have as much information about this tour specifically. And so let's jump right into it. I think from my perspective, one of the biggest things I look into are the pipes. As you know, that's where my content began, was pulling on pipes and trying to understand how to beat the pipe and those pipe odds. So, spoiler alert: there's three pipes, obviously, as any tour is going to have, but there are two great pipes I really want to be able to hype up as much as possible. If you've been saving rubies, these are the pipes you've been saving for. There's there's if you come out of this tour with 0 to 30 rubies, I would consider this a success. I doubt there's going to be anything when it comes to content of pipes in the next few tours. They're going to be this great. Starting with the week one tour, week one pipe. This is the New Year's Pipe 1. A lot of great content. For those who, like myself, started late, I started in April. I never got access to Party Time Pauline. And it's been something that's been, she's been the one that got away and the one that I've been longing for all this time. I did a great pool video on Wednesday and did end up getting her. I was excited about that. But that's not all that's in this pipe. There's a lot of great other material. For one, Lakitu Party Time with Lucky 7. He is a great driver, especially with Lucky 7. And there's been something about having a New Year's item that is kind of brought throughout the year and brings some excitement. So, I think from that standpoint, I would say some of in the past, some of the drivers that have been tied to, say, holidays, have been hit or miss. But I think I wouldn't consider him a holiday item, in the same way that Party Time Pauline was great all year round, and she has some great tracks. Now, she does have a lot of city tracks buried in her coverage, but I'm pretty excited about Lakitu and excited about putting some tickets in him as well. There's some other great items. Let's jump right into what's new this tour when it comes to those items. As I mentioned, Lakitu Party Time, available in this pipe. He's already starting out with 6 tracks on the level 1 standpoint, with a total of, essentially 10 when you take into consideration level 3 and level 6. You may not have those available. But a lot of that remix Rainbow Road, that level 3, you get Reverse and Trick. Trick obviously being just the remix Rainbow Road 1. which is nice to have. Um, Calamari Desert, as well as also Rosalina Ice World are added at level 6. But some great tracks already. It's nice to see him get some good value. My prediction is I think he'll be a great person to have, and definitely worth the investment. Party Wing, obviously a great cart. Mini Turbo Plus, one of everyone's favorite skills when it comes to those carts. It's got obviously some good coverage already. Between 4 and 8, depending on what level you have him. Gold New Year's Kite. This was a gold pass gift. It's an awesome car. It's an awesome glider because it's coin glider. But it looks awesome too, and I'm excited to see how this goes for the year. If I'm having to drop 6 to 9 tickets on a glider, especially a Hanafuda type, this would be really the only one I would be interested in dropping when it comes to kind of treat it like a like gold King Boo and trying to maximize that item. It's gonna be great. I'm excited about seeing where it goes from here. And then Dry Bowser Umbrella, we'll talk a little bit about the pack that it's in. It's got the Green Shell Plus, which is kind of interesting, but it's already gotten more tracks than the Gold New Year's Kite. So interesting to see how it's already kind of taken off. And it's got some interesting tracks in there too. Feel free to review this later on. But those are really essentially the new stuff. I think from your standpoint, you can probably do some research. This isn't anything new. I don't think I'm sharing anything too unique there. As for going into the other contents of this week 1 pipe, you have the non-spotlight drivers. This is actually probably the most exciting part I have about this pipe, because for someone like myself, I have all these drivers up in the top left already level 6, and so to be able to pull these other Marios that are part of next week's spotlight pipe as non-spotlights is very exciting, because I don't have to worry about just getting coins in return. It's definitely worth taking a look at. And then you also have King Bob-omb, who we saw last tour as a part of 100 pipe. We weren't sure if he was going to be permanent or not. It looks like he is permanent. It looks like all clear pipe, and he's going to be available for you. It's interesting to see how his relationship with the game has evolved, but it looks like they might be adding a new permanent driver too, which is very exciting. I'm very happy about that. And I'm hoping he's the one that I pull in this pipe and future pipes. But these Marios would be great too, which we'll kind of talk to a little bit more. This has stayed the same from last tour. These are the non-spotlight carts that are available. There's so many of them. They've been kind of adding 1 or 2 each tour. Most recently, Crawley Karts, Macaroon. They added the Steel Driver and Off-Roader here recently as well. But some great carts. I know as part of this pipe, having that high-end non-spotlight cart available is one of the things I look forward to, and I'm even willing to put an extra 10 pool just to make sure that I get it. But great carts there, nothing crazy. Compared to the gliders, one of the things I wanted to point out, no heart balloons. That's been permanent in the pipe for a while. It's no longer in there. However, we have Star Shoot in there. It looks like that could be a permanent going forward, as well as also maybe on the all clear pipe. If you pull it, feel free to comment and let me know that's been a part of the all clear pipe. But this being recorded on a Saturday evening, there's a good chance that those who pull the all clear pipe tomorrow will get that. So feel free to let me know if you've already pulled that. And then of course the Dry Bowser Umbrella, that's a part of this pack, and also a non-spotlight. We'll see going forward if they add it in there or if it's just this tour. But it's an interesting cart or interesting glider, and with the heart balloons gone, my guess is it's probably going to be just the Star Shoot in there going forward. But if you had the heart balloons and you capitalized while I was in there, congratulations, and hopefully it's useful for you. All right, so jumping into week 2, as you know, for my content, I really focus on strategy. And part of that strategy is knowing everything you could possibly know. And so I'm always revealing spoilers. And if you don't like spoilers, there's a lot of other great content from other content creators that you can feel free to watch. But for me, I'm gonna dive deep into as much material and as much spoilers as I possibly can, mainly to help you and help strategize and really pick between 2 pipes. And this is kind of where I've had a number of people reach out to me obviously just because I love pipes, and they say, hey, what should I pull? Should I pull for, this pipe or that pipe or this pipe or that pipe? And it's tough, right? So I think for most whales, they have a lot of these Marios, and they've been kind of collecting them throughout the year. I think for the casual or the gold class only, I think from that standpoint, this week 2 pipe is probably going to be the pipe that you want. The week 1 is exciting because obviously with 12 high ends, it's great from a coins per ruby standpoint. It's great from getting Party Time Pauline and Lakitu, but when it comes to getting drivers, this is key, right? So for you, it's getting frenzies. It's being able to you'd be able to compete, when it comes to ranked and having that top shelf driver. You know what it's been like when you don't have that shelf driver and you're having to just use your coin box driver that's a middle shelf. It's tough, right? You're leaving thousands of points on the table. So being able to get drivers is key. Now there's a couple options here. It could be just the 9 high-end spotlights. That's certainly possible, in which case there would be 448 coins per ruby, which is actually pretty good. It's much better than the standard 100 pipe that's 355 coins per ruby. However, if they also put in 3 non-spotlights, the driver, cart, and glider, that they typically put in there, and it is 9, and that happens to be 12, we're talking about record-breaking coins per ruby. From this standpoint, it'd be 516. The only that's been higher than the anniversary tour, pipe 1 and pipe 2. Really, the only other pipe that's higher than this is the throwback. And really, that was just a 50 pipe with relatively even odds for the high ends. But what brought that coins per ruby were the number of supers in there. So it's interesting to see how this will play out. But from your standpoint, the reason that the coins per ruby is so high is that you have all these spotlight drivers. So the drivers in the coins per ruby calculation is 12,000 coins as compared to 10,000 for the non-drivers. So having so many drivers in there is actually what's causing that coins per ruby. But from your standpoint, drivers are key. There's so many carts and you're not going to get them all, and that's perfectly fine. But just being able to open up one of these drivers is going to be huge. I think for myself, I have all of these drivers at least at 1. I only have 2 maxed. But, at this point in time, I'd rather use a ticket than use rubies to try to bring up these levels. And the risk of being able to get something duplicate is enough for me to just basically double down on week 1. So I think I'll be going back in it myself, the week 1 pipe, again on Wednesday. But for, I think, the general gold pass only, this is going to be your pipe. This is a pipe that you do not want to pass on. And being able to get these, there's some lucky 7 drivers in here. There's a coin box with Hakama. There's some great drivers here. This is going to be the pipe that I'm going to recommend to the casual user. I think you had a couple people asking about them. I think even if you just have 3 or 4 of them at just level 1, level 2, it's definitely worth pulling. Obviously to take them up higher levels. I think the only time where you're kind of having to make that decision is when you have something already at level 6. Like I think Mario Hakama, people have put a lot of tickets in. That's the only time you're going to run into a tough decision. Otherwise, this is going to be the pipe to go into, unless you really want Party Time Pauline, who unfortunately has 6 city tracks. And so I know I've wanted her, and I already took her to level 5, and I'll probably take her to level 6 by the tour. But that's because I just want all the coin box drivers to level 6, and she'll be my last. So it's more of a novelty thing than it is really a useful thing. I think she only has like 13 tracks that are non-cities, so not super great coverage there. Now this pipe typically would be released on a Sunday morning, and so this would be a spoiler, but it was actually released on New Year's Eve, and so you've already seen this. It's nothing spectacular. It's a gold pipe. It's interesting, right? So anytime you have a gold pipe, you get people excited about it. This is the first one that King Boo gold is in. But at the same point in time, only having 111 odds in a 50 pipe, considering the fact there are 2 100 pipes that have 12 high ends and that 12%. This is most likely, unless you're not gold pass for some reason and you don't have King Boo, this is probably going to be the pipe that you pass on. Obviously great items, and certainly anytime you have a coin box driver in there that you can possibly get, it's intriguing, and it's easy to be captivated by the gold. But My strategy would maybe be to pass unless you really want Gold King Boo and you can't get tickets and you really want these items. But there's definitely that chance you pull twice and still don't get a high end. So unless you have all those rubies, but again, this is going to be a tour that's going to drain your ruby count. For the Pax's tour, it was ironic they released these packs last week or last tour, and we knew what these were going to be. So no surprises here, but at least for those who look at the data mining. But we were thinking it was going to be a New Year's tour with Peach Kimono and Black Kabuki Dasher, purple oil paper umbrella. So hopefully you've already seen these. I think for me, I think the Black Kabuki Dasher is the number one pack for sure. So I think for a lot of people who don't necessarily go for the packs, this might be the first time that you're having to decide, I want to get packs because I want the rubies for these great pipes. So my recommendation, this Black Kabuki Dasher and the purple oil umbrella is really good. The Gilded King and Dry Bowser umbrella would probably be my number 2. Some people might even have that as the number 1. Gilded King actually breaks into our top 10 again. It broke 2 tours ago and was just outside, I think, at like 12 or so last tour. But it's back, and it's a great cart. We'll find out with Dry Bowser umbrella what that value will be as we're going forward. I will say the purple oil paper umbrella has a lot of tracks that are city tracks. Not the best glider, but it's still got some good coverage. But mainly that Black Kabuki Dasher, if you didn't go into that Dasher pipe back in, I think it was Tokyo 3, from that standpoint, if you don't have that, that's a great pack to have. It's a very valuable cart, and we'll talk about it breaking our top 10 as well. So that kind of goes through the packs. For those who, I know you have Dry Bowser, so if there's one to avoid, it's obviously the Dry Bowser, putting the Peach Kimono at like number 3 on my list. But to each their own. I've pulled Dry Bowser more times than anything in the world. So from my standpoint, that's the one I'll be avoiding. All right, finally getting to some people's favorite piece of this rundown here. That's the who got buffed section. So we'll first start with the drivers who got buffed. We saw a huge buff for Bowser Santa. 4 new tracks, taking it up to 14. He's got Remix Rainbow Road 2, Waluigi Pinball T, Vanilla Lake, and then Vanilla Lake R. So some 2 short tracks and a long, really just two long tracks. I think all of these tracks, are decent, and it's good to see him seeing some value. And that's kind of what put him in our top 10. He's number 8, and you'll see here on the full list exactly what that 8 entails. But I think, one of the things is that, any tour around this winter time, he's going to keep getting buffed. But you may not see any buffs in the spring. You may not see any in the summer. So he's getting a crazy spike right now, but that's because it's winter. It's still around the holidays. And even a New Year's tour, someone could consider it holiday-ish. But these tracks that he has are great tracks between Maple Tree Way and, this Rainbow Road. These are some tracks that you're going to want a coin box driver. And as of right now, he's between he and King Boo on some. There's some overlap between those two. But otherwise, he's sometimes the only coin box option. So he's definitely a great one to have. But just don't be surprised if he's not getting a lot of these buffs in the late spring, early summer. So 2 drivers that got, and I tried to, as I've been creating this content, been trying to find ways to make this easier, simpler to understand and try to be able to break apart. So you kind of see some color coding here. King Boo Gold and Fire Rosalina both got 3 new tracks. King Boo Gold obviously getting, Koopa Troopa Beach 2R, Vanilla Lake T, and then Choco Island 1. So some 2 short tracks, 1 longer track, but that Koopa Troopa Beach 2R, you might already have somebody to fill that spot. But overall 15 tracks already that are non-city, and that's a pretty strong presence for that gold pass. So he's obviously someone strong to invest in, and he has not broken our top 10 yet, but we'll see how that goes going forward. Fire Rosalina, not necessarily somebody that a lot of people pulled for, but she's getting a little boost here. She's now up to 11. She's got Remix Rainbow Road 2R as well, and then Airship Fortress T, Airship Fortress R. So the Air Force R is actually a pretty good one for needing her, but there's some other great drivers already, and I think even from that standpoint, you might already have someone better than Fire Rosalina, but it's nice to know that that is there. 3 different drivers got two new tracks: Peach Halloween, Peach Explorer, Builder Luigi. Peach Halloween got Remix Rainbow Road 2 and Mario Circuit 2T. And Peach Explorer, just on the fringe of the top 10, she's now up to 12. She's got Calamari Desert and Calamari Desert 2. Builder Luigi, Waluigi Pinball T, and Airship Fortress T. So again, Builder Luigi, Builder Mario are normally going to be just associated T tracks and RT tracks because they are building these trick tracks. And so, in my standpoint, just, something that I was like, oh man, I didn't even put these 2 and 2 together. But from that standpoint, you may not need a great driver for these T tracks when it comes to having someone better. These T tracks are good, and so you want to be able to maximize your points there. But again, for what it's worth, it's nice having a great driver with higher frenzies in the non-T tracks, in my experience, because it helps you to get those frenzies at a higher chance during these kind of lulls and these dead spaces in the tracks. Everyone else here on the bottom half of the screen just got 1 track added. King Boo's Luigi's Mansion, Peach Kimono, Rosalina Aurora, and Party Time Pauline all got Remix Rainbow Road 2R. And you also saw down on the very bottom, Mario and Rosalina both got that track as well. So kind of try to keep everything simple. Everyone on that line has that Remix Rainbow Road 2R. Whereas Mario Sunshine, Mario SNES, Mario Halloween, and Baby Peach Cherub all got Remix Rainbow Road 2T. So kind of see there, those are your options there. They all got buffed with that new track. And then Peach Wedding obviously was added to Remix Rainbow Road 2. So you might be using her for ranked here this week, but she's now up to 17 tracks, and she's been used and ranked a lot. And surprisingly, she jumped up to number 2 on our top 10 list, which we'll get to here in a second. But it's been interesting to see her run here recently. As for who got buffed for the karts, two different karts that got buffed with 3 new tracks. That's Black Kabuki Dasher and Steel Driver. And we talked a lot about Black Kabuki Dasher. He's looks like actually 12 on our list, so he's just outside the top 10. Steel Driver, great driver, great kart. I'm not sure why they have driver in the name. That's very confusing. But it's a great kart. It's now up to 14 tracks. It's been building and building and building. Now permanent in the pipe, and definitely one worth investing in. I know I put some tickets into it for Rosalina Ice World, and glad I did. Seems to be continued to be buffed and buffed and buffed. Talking about karts that keep getting buffed, this Gilded King is now up to 18 non-city tracks and number 5 on our top 10 list. It's a great kart. It broke, as I mentioned before, it broke our top 10 2 weeks ago, mainly because it kept being a part of ranked, but now it's been a part of ranked and getting more coverage. Overall, it's a great kart. I kind of mentioned my theory is that it seems like almost every time that they have a kart and an alt, or a glider and an alt glider, one of the two seems to be overpowered, and rarely do we see 2, like the Butterfly Sunset and the Butterfly Wings. We rarely see both in the top 10. We typically see one or the other, where say the off-roader and the brown off-roader. The off-roader is great, the brown one is not. It's kind of been like that. And so from this standpoint, when you're thinking about Koopa King and Gilded King and Holiday King, Gilded King seems to be the powerful one of that trio, and it seems to be kind of taking over. So from that standpoint, definitely a kart worth investing in. It's a part of this pack, so as you're looking at rubies and looking at how you're going to be able to invest in these pipes, that might be one way to go. Dark Trickster's been a little slow. It's only at 11 tracks so far, which is not that great for as long as it's been around. Essentially, it's tied with the Dreamy Egg that just came out last tour. But it does have 2 new tracks, and for that reason, it's pretty solid. With Jump Boost Plus, it's not a bad kart, but I don't know. For me, it's just another holiday cart that looks like a pumpkin and is going to see some value here and there, but not one that I can consistently count being in the top 10 for sure, at least for me. The rest here are all just added one track. You got the Black Dozer, which was in the top 10. Saw a small spike last tour. It's just now on the outside looking in from that top 10. You got the Gold Cheap Charger. Now at 10, it's been pretty valuable, and we'll kind of look at that list here in a second. Comet Tail, 16 tracks there. It's been pretty valuable too. Crawley Kart, interesting one. Obviously added to the all clear pipe and the 100 pipe. It's actually one of the favorite carts I've been hearing people liking the way it handles. It's kind of low to the ground and able to kind of move pretty quickly and smooth. I'm gonna give it another shot. But for those who are big fans, for you guys, keep riding it. We'll see. Seems to keep getting value, so hopefully we'll see it jumping in the top 10 here soon. Gold Train, it's been seeing some sneaky value. It does have a lot of value sunken into the city tracks, but now up to 15 non-city tracks, which is great. B-Dasher, obviously a familiar face, being a part of daily selects and pretty frequently in different pipes and whatnot, but still only having 12 tracks is not that great. So it's I think it's one that a lot of people have, but so it's nice to see that one track added. Badwagon, which was in our top 10, it now is number 14 on our list, and with 12 tracks there. 8-Bit Frame, now 13. Platinum Taxi at 13. Sushi Racer at 12. It also has a decent number of city tracks that kind of skew how powerful it is. Only has 12 non-city tracks, so one that a lot of people have had. It's been in a lot of different pipes, and you've probably seen it in 100 pipes here recently. For what it's worth, it's slowly getting a little bit of value, up to 12 now. Ribbon Rider at 11, and Star Spangled Flyer, a lot of city tracks there. Only 9 non-city. Not the best cart so far. We'll see what 2021 has to hold for the Star Spangled Flyer. And then the green, standard 8, and the red, obviously both added one new track, now up to 8. I think from the supers that are available, these seem to be good. Everyone's still kind of catching up and slowly getting it to levels, but if you have the tickets around, these are great ones to invest in for sure. Finally, when it comes to who got buffed, we'll review the gliders. So you see that top row, these are gliders with 3 new tracks. Sunset Balloons, beautiful glider, now up to a whopping 16 tracks. I do have a feeling that we'll see the Sunset Balloons in a top 10 at some point. This is a great looking glider. It's obviously got a lot of other friends between the Blizzard balloons and the Rainy balloons, and the Cloud glider looks very similar, but much more aesthetically pleasing. It's a great glider. Bowser Hanafuda. These Hanafudas, they keep getting value, and I think we're just too afraid to drop 9 tickets to take it to level 6, but a couple of them have had some value. The Bowser Hanafuda, this is the second tour where it's been getting buffed in a row. It's now up to 14. A decent Hanafuda if you like Hanafudas and want to invest in them. Butterfly Prism now has 10, so it's catching up as well. And New Year's 2021, for obvious reasons, it got buffed with 3 new tracks. It's now up to 10. Spider Glider, Jolly Bells, Purple Oil Paper Umbrella, each got added 2 new tracks. I'd say the Jolly Bells, I think a lot of people are excited about. I've seen a lot of people already double uncapping it, taking it to level 6. Just mainly because it's a coin glider, and we're excited to see where it goes from here. But it got 2 new tracks. I could see that one getting buffed. We'll see how much relationship it has being tied to the holidays going forward. Then the bottom of the screen, these each got 1 new track. So 8-Bit Star, we've seen it get value after value every single tour. Now up to 17 non-city tracks. That's phenomenal. Broke our top 10 list for the first time. Number 6 on our list. Huge jump for that. Silver and Gold Hearts, now up to 16. Gold Glider bumped back up to 2 with 15 tracks there. Crimson Crane, a very familiar face from these pipes, 15 for it. Rainbow Star Shoot, now up to 14 tracks. New Year's Kite, only 11 tracks because of how much city investment it has. But being a coin glider and obviously it being a part of this pipe, I think a lot of people are capping that and double capping it as well for what it's worth. Just keep in mind it's only got 11 non-city tracks, so it may not be the best investment. Silver Star Shoot, it's still coming around, still new. It's up to 10 now. New Year's 2020 got a track, so it's now up to 10. We'll see what happens for this specific glider in 2021. My guess is they may not be giving it too many new tracks, but who knows? This is unprecedented times. Having a glider that's a year old in this game. Planet Glider, it is new, but to only have 8 tracks now, kind of slow. Oil Paper Umbrella got a nice little boost there, up to 9. This is a phenomenal glider, super glider here, and most likely something that, especially with Red Shell, you probably already have and at least capped once. It's definitely worth capping, maybe even a second time. And then the 8-bit Jumping Luigi, already at 7, which is phenomenal for a pretty new glider there. All right, it's my favorite part of this segment, the top 10. So just kind of reviewing what the algorithm is made up of. The skill is not very important for the karts and gliders, but for the drivers it is. And other than that, it's about 20% for the weighted rank value. This is how many times they were able to be a part of ranked. Compared to others and have those others comparatively. Ranked mode percentage usage, course coverage value. This is the newer one, the course coverage value. This is essentially giving drivers who have unique coverage. You know how I love comparing unique versus shared coverage. This gives those drivers who, in karts and gliders, who have unique coverage. This means they might be the only option or part of just a few. But it's a new category, and I think it's actually really helped, especially for those who have complained that these percentages are too focused on past ranked value. The course coverage value is something that's going to be very important to you. It's the most important factor for me, and I'm glad Tabor has been adding it. And I think from this standpoint, if you do have comments about the algorithm, feel free to comment below, and then I'll pass along to Tabor. And I know Tabor keeps a pretty close eye on the comments as well, so feel free to let us know. As for that, we'll jump right in, starting with drivers. So as always, these top 10, these are at this exact moment. That means that as of Saturday, January 2nd, 2021, these are the values of these, and this will be true for the rest of this tour. Dry Bones Gold, my favorite driver, still sticking at number 1. Hasn't really moved for the last few tours. I think it was neck and neck with Pink Gold Peach as like a 1A, 1B. But he keeps being a part of ranked, and I think from that standpoint, he's been really a focal point going into the end of the year. Peach Wedding jumped up 6 spots, which is crazy. She obviously has been pretty important when it came to the coverage and how many tracks she has, but now she's a part of ranked, and they've been giving her a lot of top shelf, which is good for her. Which made, by her jumping up that many spots, it bumped Mario Chef, Penguin Luigi, and Black Yoshi all down 1, but still having that solid presence there. Pink Gold Peach holding it down at number 6 still. We saw Nabbit drop down just a little bit, down 2 spots, leapfrogging over Pink Gold Peach, but still solid in our top 10. Unfortunately, we can't say that about Peach Vacation or Rosalina Swimwear. Unfortunately, they got bumped off of our list, as well as also Luigi Classic. However, Bowser Santa, big boost there, 15 spots. That's crazy. Again, it's mainly because he's been so featured, a part of these winterish, obviously Rosalina is kind of an ice winter tour. You have a New Year's tour, which is still kind of holiday related. So you see a huge boost here. I wouldn't be surprised though. He just slowly moves down 1 rank each tour. Maybe falls outside of that top 10 here in a little bit, but as of right now, he's actually very valuable. And if you got him and got him to level really anything above 4, you are loving these tours. For me, I took him right to 6 for the holiday tour, and I've just been using them. I've been saving tickets. I'm like, well, I don't even need to use these tickets because these tickets I spent a couple tours ago are still cashing in. And as always, my strategy is always focus on getting those Coinbox drivers to level 4. And if you can get all your Coinbox drivers to level 4, then focus on getting them to 5 to 6. And of course, eventually focus on getting 1 to 6, then another to 6 versus getting them all to 5. That way, at least you get those added tracks. So again, you've heard that plenty of times from me, but I'm going to keep saying it just for those who didn't hear me the first time. Dry Bones Gold went up 1, and Pauline Party Time has been resurrected, and she was just on the fringe outside, so she's now on this top 10. I'm trying to remember if she ever was on the top 10 before, but she's always been right there. Slightly a little bit more valuable for the New Year's Tour for obvious reasons. All right, moving forward to carts. We've kind of seen the top 5 pretty consistent. We've seen Happy Ride, Off-Roader, Wild Black, Rose Queen, and Choco Macaroon really just kind of moving up and down, flipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5. We've seen these numbers kind of flip. However, we saw the Choco Macaroon see a huge drop. Now number 9 on our list. One of the things we saw a huge jump in is this Gilded King. We've seen featured again and again. And we see it here, which also I didn't really get into. Maybe I'll discuss it later, but. Dry Bowser Cup. This is actually the first time we've ever had a Dry Bowser Cup in ranked. How crazy is that? And so that's why we see this Dry Bowser Oil Paper Umbrella. We now see Gilded Kings featured. So I'm not sure what Nintendo has up their sleeve, but it's a huge red flag for what maybe could be next tour. Maybe something Dry Bowser related. I know we've been shoved Dry Bowser down our throat all year round. But to not have a Dry Bowser Cup is kind of odd. Tabor mentioned it this morning, and I caught my eye. It definitely is very odd. Definitely a red flag there. But the fact that this cart is part of a pack, and it's now in our top 5, man, this is a great card to invest in if you haven't already. My guess is it's going to continue to see value, especially if there is some type of Dry Bowser tour coming up here. So for what it's worth, it might be worth investing in. Blue Soda seems to be just stuck at that number 6. For everyone seems to be flip-flopping around. It doesn't really. It might have moved into our top 5 maybe once or twice, but it's really just kind of just stayed there at 6 almost the entire year, or at least over the last 6 or 7 tours since we started doing the top 10. Sweet Day Tripper saw a two spot boost here. Gilded Prancer, solid cart. I think a lot of people will have a double uncapped. I missed it the first time around, so I'm lagging. But it's a great cart there. Still in our top 10, still pretty strong. It's that Choco Macaroon that saw just such a huge hit. And then Gold Cheap Charger. I did want to make a correction. This was only 5. This was not 9. It was just, I think, a 15 last tour. But here's the thing. I think it was 15 week 2 of last tour. I had been doing this based on the information from week 1 of last tour. So to me, it was 9 spots, but it was really 5 from last week. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's now in our top 10 for the first time, and it's exciting to see it there. We haven't seen a lot of the gold items hit our top 10, but this Gold Cheap Charger, it's been one of my favorite gold items when it comes to carts, and for you, it might be worth investing in. I think it has a lot of Rainbow Road overlap with things like Happy Ride and Rose Queen, so you might not want to, but I know from my standpoint, I keep seeing it there at level 5 on my list. I'm like, man, it'd be great to get that to level 6, but I just don't have the tickets, and I'm not going to go into this gold pipe. Last but not least, for the top 10, we have gliders, Dragon Wings, still holding onto that number 1 spot. I think as you're thinking about capping tickets and double capping tickets, I think Dragon Wings is a great one to double cap to start. It gives you, a lot of maximum coverage. I've been using it in ranked a lot. It's been a part of different packs throughout the year, and I think it's going to continue to have value. But just based on coverage, there's so many times where I'm choosing it over coin gliders and other gliders because it just has so much coverage. Definitely worth investing in there. Gold Glider jumps up 6 spots. It's been a while since we've seen the Gold Glider in the top 3 or 4, but now it's number 2 on our list. World Parachute jumped up as well. Not quite as much, but number 3 on our list, that's phenomenal. I think this is the highest it's ever been on our list. Cloud Glider stays about the same. Gold Swooper dropped 2 spots. I know personally that's my favorite gold glider and coin glider. This is what I was mentioning before, this 8-bit star. Really, it's between last tour and this tour, it's been featured so many times. It's been pumped full of value. It's now number 6 on our list. We'll see if it stays that high. It might be just kind of a Rainbow Road spike, and we'll see what happens going into future tours. Gold Crane, love this glider. I think this is one of the highest it's been on our list. It's now number 7. It's kind of always been that 8-9 range, but number 7, it's great to see it there. I just double uncapped it, getting ready for next week as well. Pumped about using that. Starshoot, this is, I think, a lot of people's favorite or favorite gold glider, favorite coin glider, and it's a great glider. Unfortunately, it's dropped a lot, and we saw a lot of value last tour. Obviously, this time it might be permanently in the pipe, so you might see it going forward. I have a pretty good feeling it's going to get back into the top 5, so I wouldn't be too concerned. But it is number 8 on our list. Strawberry Donut. Man, this had its heyday just a couple tours ago, rocking that number 2, number 3 spot, and unfortunately, it's hit an all-time low. This is since we started doing the top 10 list. I don't think I've ever seen it this low. Number 9 on our list. We'll see if it still keeps some value. I think it will, but we'll see how that turns out. And then Wicked Wings. This is the first time it's been in our top 10. It's been definitely a glider that a lot of people have, and so it's good to see on this list. But number 2, up 2 spots. It's been in the top 20 for quite a while, but this is the first time in the top 10. Bumped up 2 spots. Number 10 on our list, and so from that standpoint, Wicked Wings, a wonderful glider, and definitely one worth investing in. All right, feel free to take a screenshot of this or take a look at this on Reddit. But these are the Week 1 tracks for Bowser Junior Cup, and this really helps when you're looking at level 6 karts and gliders and drivers, and which ones can I invest in. So a good one as an example for those who might be having a hard time with, let's say, Waluigi Pinball, being able to take Dry Bowser Gold or Mario Hakama to level 3 could be a huge help. I know a lot of people, including Sammy from Kart Life, talks about wanting to use Mario Hakama at level 3 over a level 6 Metal Mario. I mean, these coin box drivers are huge, especially if you can get to level 4, or just one more level above that level 3. Going to be massive. Definitely worth investing in. So that really helps you for this week. As for next week for the Dry Bowser Cup, this is where I just want to put this on the record. I have a feeling this Dry Bowser Cup, it being the first time ever as part of Ranked, we have packs that have Dry Bowser in it. I already looked it up. 2021 is Year of the Ox. So I was thinking, is it Year of the Turtle? Is there something to do with Bowser? I have a feeling there might be a Bowser tour coming up. In the same way that we had a Peach tour, a Rosalina tour, I do feel like a Bowser tour is on the horizon. This might be the little Easter egg that they might be just communicating with us, that it might be on its way. So just putting it out there for the universe. If it does happen, you heard it here first. From that standpoint, Calamari Desert Tea, some ones that you might want to look at investing in. Obviously, Roy, you probably already have at level 6, but it's featured there I think Tabor said it was the first time that Roy has ever been a part of Ranked. Crazy. But for what it's worth, I mean, you probably have better options than Roy. But for those who are Roy fans, you now get to use them. But I think from the main part for me taking a look at it is that SNES Mario Circuit 2. There's a lot of level 6, a lot of level 3, a lot of different options to be able to upgrade. So take a look at that. For another thing is, when you're looking at Calamari Desert Tea, there's so many jump boosts. You see a total of 41 there. That is a lot. That's one of the highest ones I've seen in a while. It was part of my Coins at Plenty track today, and I couldn't. I had a hard time landing in between these jumps because it was just jump, 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 jump. So any cart that has that Jump Boost Plus, like Off-Roader, is going to be phenomenal. I've already double uncapped my Off-Roader, but I know we'll get the cart tickets next week. So it may be too late, but definitely worth looking into from your standpoint of double cap and things. Off-road might be good for that track. All right, so essentially that's all I have. I appreciate your time today. Again, the rundown, the word rundown essentially is just kind of to provide a high-level summary by someone who knows what they're talking about. We'll take that with a grain of salt, the part about a knowledgeable person. But that kind of is what I'm looking at when it comes to tours. It's what I'm trying to look at for when I'm trying to understand where I'm going to invest tickets and where I'm going to focus my time. You know, it really comes down to understanding the value in the game. So hopefully this helps, and you know, certainly there's a lot of other things I'm not going to cover, and there's a lot of great other content out there. Things like, you know, I think there's like a New Year's bush that's I can't even pronounce it, but because I know I'm going to butcher it, like the Kabuti dasher that I've you know me, I'm not good at pronouncing those items, but there's this giant bush that's everywhere. Like, there's gonna be stuff like that. You already know what it is. You don't need me to tell you that. You know, there's enough reaction. You can read about it. There's stuff like that. But my goal is really to give you the stuff that's laying under the surface. Taking a look at the data, Tabor's data really instilling that, but ultimately providing it in an easy, digestible way that you can, and being able to talk about it so it's just a little bit more familiar, and you kind of know where things are trending and pacing. So hopefully that helps. Regardless, you know, from my standpoint, I'm definitely going to be pulling on this week one pipe again on Wednesday. I probably won't be doing a video, but for those who are pulling in either of these pipes, these are phenomenal pipes. Do not leave these pipes unpulled. From that standpoint, good luck and Happy New Year.